Hi, and welcome to Marc When Sailing. I'm Marc, and today we're going to talk about 5 seafarers' myths that were actually true. Some of you may have heard of a mysterious, mythical sea creature that wrecks entire ships and devours them whole, especially if you've seen some of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Yes, we are talking about the Kraken. The Kraken has its origins in Norse mythology, but similar creatures are part of different cultures and myths. Now, I don't know about that last part, devouring ships whole and all that, but huge squids, the giant squids, do exist, and were probably the reason these stories sparked into existence. The giant squid can grow up to 13 meters or 43 feet, but there's an even bigger version out there, the colossal squid. This creature is estimated to grow up to 12 to 14 meters or 39 to 46 feet long and can possibly weigh up to 750 kilograms, 1,600 pounds. A myth that only turned out to be true recently are freak waves, also called rogue waves. These gargantuan waves are not tsunamis, which are actually caused by earthquakes. Tsunamis, unlike freak waves, only grow to their tremendous size near the coast. In 1995, strong scientific evidence for the existence of rogue waves came with the recording of what has become known as the Dutchman wave. Now, think about that. This wasn't much more than 20 years ago. Up until then, nobody believed in these things. The Dutchman is a structure in a gas pipeline support complex. It had state-of-the-art equipment on it to measure wave height and wave slope. The platform was built to withstand a calculated 1 in 10,000 years wave, with a predicted height of 64 feet or 19.5 meters. On January 1st, 1995, it recorded an 85 feet rogue wave, a lot higher than it was built to withstand, that hit the rig at 45 miles an hour or 72 kilometers per hour. This was the first confirmed measurement of a freak wave, more than twice as tall and steep as its neighbors. But rogue waves are not the largest myth we are going to talk about today. Not even when we're talking about the actual physical size. But you'll have to wait for the number 1 for that. The next myth that sort of turned out to be true is another creature, the mermaid. Now, no, these beings do not really exist as they are or were depicted. However, the creatures they are probably based off of do exist. The myth of mermaids goes way back. Even the ancient Greeks had sirens, which were often depicted as mermaid-like creatures. Even Christopher Columbus had a mermaid sighting. Little did he know that this encounter was actually the first written record of manatees in North America. Yes, manatees. These creatures are probably the basis of what we call mermaids now. Not quite as attractive, but when sailors set out to sea for months on end, they may even find manatees attractive. Though I do admit they are kinda cute in a certain way, but not like that. The next myth is another one depicted in Pirates of the Caribbean. The Flying Dutchman is a legendary ghost ship that can never make port and is doomed to sail the oceans forever. Sightings in the 19th and 20th century report this ship to be glowing with a ghostly light. If hailed by another ship, the crew of the Flying Dutchman will try to send messages to land or to people long dead. In ocean lore, the sight of this phantom ship is a portent of doom. So, am I saying this ship of the undead and banished actually exists? Yes. Well, yes and no. I am saying something like this has actually been seen by sailors, but no, it's not a doomed ship at all. Well, at least most of the time, I hope. The myth is likely to have originated from the 17th century golden age of the Dutch East India Company. The explanation is quite simple. A superior mirage or fata morgana seen at sea. Another optical effect known as looming occurs when rays of light are bent across different reflective indices. This could make the ship just off the horizon appear hoisted in the air. Just like this, or even that, with some imagination. Now to the biggest, most incredible myth that turned out to be true, maybe ever. America. Yes, the existence of some other continent that might exist was talked about even before Columbus. Now, as we all know by now, Columbus was not actually the first to discover the continent. Therefore, a story of a huge landmass to the west might have survived after the actual first discoveries. Also, types of wood that were unknown to the European nations sometimes washed up to their west coast, tropical trees and plants for instance. This sparked the myth that another continent might exist in that direction. Even though Columbus did not head out in that direction to find this continent, we all know he did. And, we know, discovered America again. The myth of the landmass was myth no more, and I believe most of you watching will agree that it actually exists. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, like, maybe even subscribe, and please share it on your preferred social platform. That would really help a lot. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Links down in the description below. And, as always, fair winds to you.